Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So in front of us is the all-new 2024 BMW X5. This is the xDrive40i. It's finished off in a Brooklyn gray metallic. They have a starting MSRP right around $67,000. However, the model in front of us is closer to $84,000. So this has a lot of features that of course we will go over in today's video, but let's start off with what powers this model. This has a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. It is paired with an electric motor along with the 8-speed automatic transmission. And for the 24-year model, it now pumps out 375 horsepower with 398 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 5,000-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. And as far as fuel economy goes, you're looking right around 23 miles per gallon in the city, 27 out on the highway. So let's move on to the exterior styling now, where you'll see some subtle changes up front, starting with the headlight housing. So they're all LEDs, of course. The turn signals, though, have a new design to them and a new animation. So slightly different, but still retaining a similar housing. With the M Sport package, everything up front is gloss black. We have a little bit different of a design for all of that. Same style for the kidney grille with the matte black finish, forward-facing camera, along with the active grille shutters, which will open and close. This has a sensor for the adaptive cruise, along with all the parking sensors. And then another subtle difference is the functional air inlets on both sides are now in a vertical position rather than having a mini square right there. So it's nice to see that change. Huge inlets on both sides or the ends of the center area there, and then some nice lines coming down the hood. I think it looks really, really good. I would opt or recommend that you go with the M Sport package. To me, it just looks a little bit more aggressive than some of the other options that are available. Of course, that would be adding to the MSRP, but I do like that option. Now for the side, this has a set of 22-inch wheels finished off in gloss black with the blue M Sport brakes just behind that. And we do have a functional trim piece underneath the side skirt. You'll notice there's one up on the top which is not functional, which is interesting to see because there is a cutout in the lower section there with the functional one up front. It would be nice to see that the air be able to exit and go down the side of the vehicle. It still looks cool on the side, however. This has two-tone design for the power folding side mirrors with the camera and the turn signal. Everything else is gloss black, a part of that package with the full moonroof up top and some great lines that run down the side. I love the protrusions in the side skirt, and everything else just flows very nicely all the way to the rear. Where this does have the body colored spoiler, there's the brake light with the wiper blade, backup camera, a little bit new of a design for the LED taillights. We have the black housing on them, and then a little bit different of a turn signal animation than the previous model. All the parking sensors are down below, and then underneath that there's some gray trim that surrounds the dual exhaust with it separates the bodywork there. And this even has a towing capacity of 6,600 pounds. Impressive to see for this engine. You can also remote start this. We have the other controls on the side for the liftgate, but I'm going just to push on that button. And for the X5, this has the split style for the liftgate. So the upper one goes up, the lower one, of course, will go down. This also gives you a divider between the bumper and the load height. So if you have some items you don't necessarily, of course, want to scratch up the bumper, it sticks out a little bit to be able to do that. Or you can use this to sit on if you're tailgating, anything like that. Plenty of space. This is a big SUV, so there's a lot of room with the back seats up. There's even some space up underneath where you have the spare tire. You can place that cover down below. There's an area and it shows you how to do that, so you can get it out of the way. You can fold down the back seats to give you that much more space. There's a 12 volt and some hooks too, so you can place some bags so they don't roll around. Now for the split design, you can close the lower one individually from the upper one, but push on one of those two buttons and both of them will close at the same time, which is of course great to have. You don't have to worry about doing it twice if you don't want to. Now for the interior, we have the beautiful white leather. This model has the ambient lighting, brushed aluminum, Harman Kardon sound system, the wood trim too. There's an adjustable sunshade that you can use, plenty of space in the lower section of that door. Now the M badge is an illuminating badge in the door sill, and we have the same color for these seats, which is a fantastic touch. Now, once inside, there are storage pockets behind both front seats, climate adjustments. These are heated rear seats too. A little bit of storage underneath. You could place a phone if you needed to. And then there's a few auxiliaries in the lower section, along with the auxiliaries behind both front seats. So you have an area where you could attach something to place a tablet and have it charging at the same time. Pretty cool to see that. And as far as space goes, plenty of room for my feet and my legs. I have around 2 or 3 inches above my head. Now these seats do not recline, but they are a little bit angled back, so they are comfortable to sit in. We have the armrest, storage space, 2 cup holders, so it's very versatile for that. And you can even fold down this middle seat individually. If you need a little bit more access, it is great to have that option. Pillar's not all that bulky, large windows on both sides, so that makes it easy to see. We have another air vent on that pillar there, since there's the full moonroof. Front door panel is just like the rear, but there's all the window adjustments, side mirror adjustments, memory seating adjustments. You can also adjust the passenger front seat just by pushing on that icon and then using the power adjustments. Plenty more storage along with that ambient lighting. And then the beautiful leather seats up front, which are heated and ventilated too. Another M badge down below. There's also an M logo on that dead pedal, which is interesting to note. Now for the all-new 24 X5, we have the massive infotainment gauge cluster screen, which has been a bit controversial, but I think it is a nice new integration. It's not just stuck on the dash. It looks very well integrated in my opinion. Now let's talk about the gauge cluster setup, because currently you can see miles per hour along with TAC, what gear the vehicle is in. In the lower section, there's fixed info like your fuel level, time, engine temperature, and the outside temperature. You can go through more of that content, however, just by pushing on that button. Now we have the rotary dial where we can pull up the map, you can look at your compass, even look at the distance pacing. You have your trip information along with the miles per hour. So it's nice that you have all of that. You can even pull some of this up in full screen. So let's go to the map. If we go to the layout now and change that, you will see in basically more of the comm screen setting, the navigation gets larger. So if you want to view that in more of a full screen, you can see it gets smaller and smaller between the 3 layouts there. So it's pretty cool to have that. And then for the head-up display, there are 3 different settings. There's a comm screen, there's a standard view, and then there's also the assisted view and the sport view. So just depending on what you would like to see, doesn't really change that much, but it's nice that you have the options to do that. Steering wheel is completely covered in solid black leather. It is the M Sport steering wheel. On this right side, there's volume and tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands. Cruise control settings are on the left side, and then the brushed aluminum paddle shifters are just behind that. Now on this left side, a little bit of storage where you could place some items. There's the headlight adjustments. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, this is the home screen where you have several different icons that you can quickly get into. You can even add some information as needed, just depending on what you would like to place here. On this left side, there's shortcuts to your map, along with phone and music, so you can go through all those icons. And then you can even gain access to your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You have your seat comfort, some different settings to go into, along with your interior and exterior lighting, all of your displays. It gives you a lot of good graphics to be able to go through all that info. And with the new screen, there are no longer physical buttons for all the climate. So it cleans it up in the lower section, and it is fixed now in the bottom of this screen. So you can gain access to your heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats, all the climate adjustments, and then your passenger adjustments too. You always see the temperature too. So you don't have to hunt for all that info. It is right there, always accessible. Now there's wood trim underneath that, and then an ambient strip going to the X5 logo. Very cool to see that in this trim piece surrounded with the brushed aluminum. There's 2 air vents in the middle, a physical button for power and volume for the radio, tuning, there's defrosters and the hazards. And then right in the middle, if I close this, we have more of that wood trim. Opening it up reveals the wireless charging pad, a little bit of storage space, 2 cup holders, and some auxiliaries. And then if you don't want to use this as a touchscreen system, you have all the shortcuts down below. So you can quickly get through all of this info as needed. There's the rotary dial to further go through that. It is finished off in crystal, which is a nice touch, along with the all-new gear shifter. So if I push this forwards, that will bring up the camera system where there's some shortcuts to go into. You have a few different angles that you can pull up as well, even going into the 3D view where this does have the gesture control, or you can just push on these icons to further get through that info. There's a top-down view too, and if I go back into this angle and put the vehicle into drive, now we have the forward-facing camera. So you can get through all of that info as well, and then back to the other settings. Now park is at the back, so just push on that. But if you put this into drive and then pull it one more time, that allows you to use these paddle shifters. And then on the left side, there's traction control, parking sensors, and then a few different driving modes. So there's sport mode, you can gain access to that. You can go into comfort mode and then eco mode too. It will change the gauge cluster slightly, just depending on the mode that you want to go into. So very cool to see that. There's a downhill assist control, auto hold, and the electronic parking brake. And then a little bit of storage in the center armrest with another auxiliary, along with the glove box storage space. And you might be able to see this is red now because we put it into sport mode, so that is reflecting the mode that this is in. And visibility from the driver's seat is super open feeling. So it's so easy to see in all directions. There's a call button along with the dome lights, and then the sunroof adjustment is right in the middle. But let's go ahead and get the all-new X5 out on the road. And from second gear, here we go. Hopefully you could hear how smooth those shifts were and how quick they are too. It's impressive. For a vehicle like this, I would hope the paddles would be used a lot more than just being there, because it does have a fun vibe to it. Even though it's not loud, it's not the quickest X5 available, it certainly is still just as fun to drive. And then once we're up to speed, we can go back into drive, put it into the comfort setting. The lateral supports on the seat will also relax a little bit. So sport mode makes them a little bit tighter, which is impressive to see. But as we're behind the wheel now for this $85,000 BMW X5, I really don't have any complaints with this model. I'm not trying to be biased towards BMW. I don't own one yet, but I love everything about this vehicle. I can't really pick apart anything from the numerous miles that I've put between all of the X5s that I've been able to drive. I really don't see, maybe the only complaint that I would have is that the rear tailgate doesn't open with the liftgate. I think that'd be a cool setting you could go into if you want both of them to open at the same time. I recently reviewed the all-new Range Rover, and when you did that with the key fob, both of them opened up, which was nice because if you have your hands full of items, you just hit the key fob, they both open up, you can load everything in one set or one step. So I think it would be cool. That's probably my only gripe with this, which isn't a huge deal. And turning radius is also very, very good. So we did that with ease, but other than that, super comfortable, very spacious, normal mode too. Don't even have to think about it, we're up to speed. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this all-new 2024 BMW X5. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. Check out their website, that link is down below. Give the video a huge thumbs up, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.